Every Australian needs to see this.
The Honourable John Ruddick.
Mr President, my question is for the Minister for Finance, representing the Minister for Health. Minister, the Queensland Premier recently announced that they have abolished all COVID vaccine mandates for Queensland health workers and ambulance workers. It's inevitable it's going to happen in New South Wales, so why don't we do it today? These are cruel and pointless mandates where innocent people are being punished.
The Minister has the call.
Thank you, Mr President, and I thank the Honourable Member for his question. In my capacity representing the Minister for Health, the Honourable Ryan Park, who's doing an excellent job, and I know that the Premier and the Minister for Health did make some announcements in relation to the question of COVID vaccines recently, but I do not have the power, as the member has asked me to do, to make the announcement today, but I will take the question on notice and come back to him with an answer.
Thank you.
The Honourable John Ruddick.
Mr Assistant President, I rise to take note of the Minister representing the Minister for Health, and I was encouraged to hear that she is going to speak to the Minister for Health to see where we are up to with removing the silly COVID vaccine mandates from public servants. COVID vaccine mandates in 2003 are absurd at best and malicious at worst. Now, prior to COVID, the COVID hysteria, I personally had never hesitated to take a vaccine. In fact, in the last century, I worked briefly for Pfizer in government relations as an employee. I wasn't a very successful one, and I'd like to thank them for terminating my employment because that encouraged me to become a self-employed person. Nevertheless, while at Pfizer and dealing with the senior management, they told me three things. They said for every one vaccine that they start working on, only out of 40, only one gets to market. They also told me that it typically takes 10 years of research to get a vaccine from the early stages to the market, and they said that it costs millions, if not billions of dollars to research a vaccine. Now then COVID comes along, a bad flu, a very bad flu, but hysteria, we made it 20, the perception was it was 20 times worse than it was. And then we had a vaccine, not in 10 years, but in 10 months. And we were told by all the geniuses, this was a politically motivated thing, we were told, take one vaccine and you won't get COVID. That's what we were told. They're all on the record, all people like Dan Andrews and many others. Take one vaccine, you won't get COVID. Then it was 2, then it's 3, then it's 4, now it's up to 5. Now it's going to be an annual thing. Pfizer and all the pharmaceuticals are making a lot of profit. Now, I was lucky I didn't have to take the stupid thing because I was self-employed. But there were many, many good public servants, people who are not political, people who are modest people, people who have been stood down, who resisted the hysteria. And these people are still not working. Anastasia Palaszczuk just removed the COVID vaccine mandates from the health workers and the ambulance workers. She says, oh, well, obviously it doesn't matter. And who protested about that? How many Queensland nurses have caused deaths since they've started working again? Obviously none. We know it's all a farce. So I am now during the COVID hysteria, New South Wales was bad, but we were the least bad government in this country. But we still have today, in the mighty state of New South Wales, we have firefighters, ambulance officers and nurses who are still not allowed to work because they were wise enough not to take the silly COVID vaccine, and I'm urging the government, it's in the government's interest. These people they'll hold it against the previous government and they will like the current government for doing it, and there'll be no downside. Please do it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.